Hello and welcome to MC in Focus, broadcasting live from Montgomery College in Rockville, Maryland. I'm Jack Edwards.
And I'm Nathaniel Kane. Let's get started with an election update with some local ties. After winning Tuesday's primary, Maryland in the district, Mitt Romney is turning his attention to the general election. He is now ready to focus his campaign on beating President Barack Obama. The two wins give Mitt Romney all of the delegates he'll need for the Republican nomination. However, in polls, President Obama still has a significant lead over Romney. This is partly due to large support among women voters. Here on campus, Montgomery College is having its new participatory governance elections this week. Students, faculty, and staff should vote online at www.montgomerycollege.edu/vote. You have until April 11th, so don't forget to vote, Jack.
Oh, I won't. Now, according to Bloomberg.com, student loan debt collectors are tricking students into paying more than they need to. The Board of Education hired private contractor loan shark companies like Pioneer Credit Recovery, better known as Sallie Mae, to get extra money from students who defaulted on their loans. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, was created to protect and educate students about their federal loan options. Because of the abuse of students, the CFPB is dealing with a flood of complaints. Some debt-collecting companies like J.P. Morgan had to settle in court to keep from having a media frenzy. To be proactive, the College Cost Reduction and Access Act is set to expire on July 1st. This will double interest rates on all Stafford student loans, so contact your congressman to tell them where you stand. Go to congress.org to find your elected officials.
With some more on young adults and their tough financial climate, check out this next segment. Are you young and looking for work? You're not the only one. According to a study released last month by the Pew Research Center, just 54% of Americans ages 18 to 24 currently have jobs. That's the lowest employment rate for this age group since the government began keeping track in 1948. At Montgomery College, economics professor Shah Marabi has some advice for young adults going through tough times.
Since the employment situation was not that great, in other words, the economy was not really creating enough good, high-paying jobs, many were forced to accept jobs at a flat wage rate, a very lower wage rate than what one would have accepted if they would have found employment in their line of work, or at least in the area that they graduated from.
Among young adults surveyed, more than a third say they have gone back to school in the face of a tough labor market. Nearly a quarter have taken an unpaid job or moved back in with parents, and 1 in 5 have even put off having a child or getting married due to economic concerns.
The role of government should be to provide, again, some sort of income subsidy or grant for those whose job is antiquated and or whose job is no longer in need, to be able to be retrained so that they will go ahead and acquire a skill that is needed by the market, so they could be absorbed in the market readily and get an income that will enable them to go ahead and have a livelihood that is comparable to that of their parents.
Still, young people surveyed by Pew seem very optimistic. Almost 90% say they're either making enough to suit their needs now or expect to in the future. And 60% of young adults say their children will have a better standard of living than they do.
I think psychology is an important part of the equation here, and that is a positive attitude. I always tell students if they come to my class with a positive attitude, then they are a step ahead of those who have no attitude or have negative attitude.
Shah does think the end of tough financial times for 20-somethings is in sight.
The prospects look good. That is, the economy is to expand, as it is expanding now. The economy is to generate employment. That is, unemployment rate is going down and is continuing to go down at the end of this year.
So chin up, young people everywhere. The best is yet to come. For MC in Focus, I'm Nathaniel Kane.
Well, that's a great story, Nate. How has the financial crisis affected you?
Not too much personally. I'm just a server, don't have many credit cards, but I know there's lots of kids out there who got their degree. One of my buddies was working for the government and got laid off. It's tough out there for young kids.
It is. Well, now, heading to California, a disgruntled former student at a small Christian college in California opened fire on Monday, killing 7 and wounding 3. Police are saying that 43-year-old One Go was expelled from Oikos University 2 months ago for behavioral problems and anger issues. Go returned on Monday, reportedly targeting an administrator who was not there. Witnesses say Go entered 2 classes, lined students up, and opened fire. Go surrendered and was taken into custody several miles from the school. Police say the investigation is ongoing and charges have not yet been filed.
Well, some more national news. The Supreme Court has ruled that suspects arrested for any offense may be subjected to a strip search, even without reasonable belief that they are concealing contraband. The ruling comes from the case of Florence versus the County of Burlington, New Jersey. Florence was detained after a traffic stop in 2005. He was then arrested and held for 8 days. He was strip searched twice during the ordeal. Justice Anthony Kennedy ruled that Florence's 4th and 14th Amendment rights were not violated, as every detainee may be required to undergo a close visual inspection.
Now, the NFL is creating a buzz with new uniforms. On Sunday, the NFL's new merchandise contract kicked in with Nike. The popular athletic company has made headlines the past couple years for their outrageous college uniforms. The biggest change customers will notice right off the bat is the pricing of Nike apparel. Shirt prices have increased from around $25 to $35, and jersey prices will jump from $75 to $100. Most teams' uniforms stayed the same, but the Seattle Seahawks underwent a complete overhaul. While Nike shirts and shorts are now in stores, NFL jerseys are not expected to be sold until draft weekend, starting Thursday, April 26th.
Well, I'm really excited for the new jerseys. I'm definitely going to get a new Redskins jersey right after the draft. Hopefully get RG3, number 2 pick. We'll see what happens. So some more sports. Let's kick it over to Candace.
Thanks, guys, and good afternoon. Continuing on with football, the NFL has finally released their preseason schedule for the Redskins. They will open their preseason where they will visit the weekend of August 9th, then head to Chicago to play the Bears the following weekend. The third preseason game is against the Colts and is usually a dress rehearsal and traditionally features the most playing time for first-string players that will include Heisman Trophy winner Robert Griffin III and top pick Andrew Luck. Now a little bit of hockey. Washington Capitals clinched their 5th consecutive berth in the NHL playoffs after Alexander Sedman scored the last goal of the game to make the score 4-2, leading them to a victory. Buffalo lost to Philadelphia 2-1, which gave the Caps the help they needed to get in. The Capitals are still alive for the Southeast Division title. They play the Rangers in New York Saturday, April 7th at 6:30 p.m. for the final regular season game. The Nats had their season opener in Chicago against the Cubs yesterday. Steven Strasburg, after undergoing Tommy John surgery 2 years ago, only allowed 1 run in 7 innings. Ian Desmond had an RBI single in the 9th inning to bring the score to 2-1 against the Cubs and leading them to a win. Washington's home opener is next Thursday at 1:05 p.m. Continuing on with baseball, a little bit of Orioles magic. Today is opening day for the Orioles as they play against the Minnesota Twins at 3:05 p.m. But that's not all that is exciting. Today marks the 20th anniversary of Camden Yards. Gates opened at noon and fans are encouraged to be in their seats by 2:30 p.m. to enjoy the ceremonies, which include the same pitcher Rick Sutcliffe and catcher Chris Hoyles, who opened the stadium in 1992. That's all I have for you for sports. Back to you guys.
And that is interesting stuff. I had no idea it was the 20th anniversary already. Wow.
Good stuff.
Well,
Are you concerned with the quality of your beef? You should be. More of that after the break.
Give a dog a bone? Give a dog a home, helping homeless animals today and every day.
Well, we're back. Philly.com is reporting several processors of the ammonia-treated product dubbed pink slime are struggling for survival amid public outcry about what's being used in the nation's hamburger meat. AFA Foods Incorporated is seeking approval in U.S. bankruptcy court for a plan to sell some of its assets. This is happening just days after competitor Beef Products Incorporated, the largest producer of the filler known in the industry as lean, finely textured beef, stopped production at 3 of its 4 plants. Pink slime, a term coined by U.S. government scientist and whistleblower Gerald Zernstein to describe the unlabeled and chemically treated scrap meat going into U.S. ground beef, has been widely used in the industry for years. According to court papers, AFA Foods, which processes beef in 5 states, produces case-ready ground beef and individual quick frozen hamburger patties sold to Walmart, Safeway, and eateries including Burger King, Jack in the Box, Hardee's, and even Wendy's.
Now in other news, North Korea confirms its plan to launch a satellite into orbit next week, but the United States and its allies fear it is actually a test for a long-range ballistic missile. The U.S. demanded that North Korea cancels the launch, saying it violates a United Nations Security Council resolution. In return, North Korea accused the U.S. of applying double standards on satellite capabilities. The North Korean Foreign Ministry said in the statement, "We will never give up the launch of a satellite for peaceful purposes." Japan is also expected to deploy its guided missile destroyer if the rocket falls towards Japanese territory. The launching of the rocket is expected to take place on April 16th.
In some other local news, Montgomery College will be hosting the Health and Wellness Fair this Wednesday. The fair runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the PE building on the Rockville campus. So be sure to check that out, MC students.
Now back to the future. The future of flying cars is just around the corner. Terrafugia is a small private company who is taking cars to the next level. With the team's MIT background, they have designed a car which transforms into a 2-passenger airplane. Their prototype, dubbed the Transition, delivered its first test flight on March 23rd. The successful first flight of this prototype marks a critical move towards initial production and first delivery, says COO Anna Marachik-Dietrich. The Transition reached 1,400 feet above ground level on its test flight. The exciting prototype will be displayed at the New York Auto Show starting today until the 15th of April.
Well, I wish I had that car this weekend because it looks like we're in store for a beautiful, beautiful weekend in weather. The rest of today, expect clear skies and cool temperatures reaching the 60s, getting chilly tonight in the 30s. For Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at some clear skies and temperatures reaching the 60s again, and then again dropping down to the 30s. On Monday, partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the 60s, so don't get the case of the Mondays.
Yeah, it sounds like a great weekend.
It will be. It's actually my little sister's birthday today, so I want to say happy birthday to Anya. And we're going to go to her barbecue tomorrow, so we're going to enjoy that nice weather outside, grill up some meats, throw back some beers. You guys got any plans for this weekend?
I'm going hiking Sugarloaf Mountain this weekend, actually, so I'm looking forward to that. What about you, Candace?
Well, after we're done here, I'm going to head straight to opening day in Baltimore, and then it's Easter on Sunday, so I'm spending time with the family and, you know, eat some chocolate.
Dye some eggs?
Maybe
hide
dye
them for
some
the
eggs.
kids?
Yeah, and run around and then decide that I'm too old to run around.
Like, oh, I've had too much sugar.
Yeah, Easter egg hunt, maybe?
Maybe.
It's a big holiday weekend. Today's actually Passover, so that started. That's all the time we have today for MC in Focus. I'm Nathaniel Kane. He's Jack Edwards. And she's Candace Allgood. You guys have a great weekend.